Hey everybody, this is Jason. Welcome to Liberty Shorts. Today we're going to be discussing the Aleph-Bet. I know you're familiar with the alphabet. Well, the Aleph-Bet is the way to say it in Hebrew. This is why this is important. Do you know our alphabet comes ultimately from the Greek alphabet, which reads left to right. But do you know that the Hebrew reads right to left? Why is this important? Because the original language of Hebrew, referred to as the Lashon Kodesh, the Holy Tongue, is left. It goes from right to left. So for an example, in the early Proto-Semitic area, we find that Hebrew, specifically Paleo-Hebrew, is right to left, but Greek copied it, but went in the opposite direction. Now, there's a great philosophy about this, about not just the Greeks and their bloodline, but the philosophy of Hellenization, how it was opposite, and why even today, a lot of the worldly ways are exactly opposite of the Lord, even all the way down to gender confusion. Okay, now, I'll give you an example. In the Hebrew alphabet, you had Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, and in the Greek alphabet, the Aleph became an alpha, the Bet became a beta, the Gimel became a gamma, the Dalet became a delta, and the Hey became an epsilon. But you see the picture here on the screen, the icon is exactly opposite. Well, interesting, because the Hellenized world demonized the biblical way of life and the God of Israel and the Hebrew and Jews that came out of Abraham, who ultimately was a Gentile that was grafted into God through friendship and then became a people group, and through whom which we are now a people of praise. And we now derive our name from Christ, the anointed one, who came on the earth in the flesh to justify, validate his way on the earth. That's why he said, I am the way. So it's interesting when we're going against the spirit of the age and the spirit of the world, that was coined in the Greco-Roman era with technology, with strength, human efforts, just like the Tower of Babel. And they also looked to fallen entities, the fallen angels, and the enemy himself, just trying to romanticize their identities and their names, but ultimately it was the devil and his angels. So we know the motive operandum of them was bad. Now, does that mean the language was altogether corrupt? No. Does that mean the diets or the people were altogether corrupt? No, it does not. As a matter of fact, God used Koine Greek, transliterated into the New Testament. It started as Aramaic and Hebrew. We have proof of that. But then it went to Koine Greek because that was the language of the world. That would just be like saying the internet is evil. No, the internet and money and weapons are all tools, and they take on the personality of those who use them. So basically in the Hebrew language, it is also a tool, and it can take on the personality of those who use it, but it is understood perfectly when the heart of God is understood perfectly. Then it becomes a most amazing thing. I'll make another video about this to fill you in on some other great details.